Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, Bridget Kelly entered a plea of not guilty to a case that should be appropriately captioned David Wallstein versus Bridget Kelly. Because make no mistake about this essentially is a one-person witness against my client. And the witness has been described by many people over the years to be kind, as peculiar. One of the things I found out since Friday, which I find kind of interesting, I'll be awaiting with a great deal of attention to see who the government alleged are co-conspirators in this case. Obviously, when they came up with their indictment, you have to understand this. The government was relying on just David Wallstein. Whatever Mr. Fishman said that day, his representatives, they do not have first-person knowledge about anything in this case. They're relying on that one narrative, and that narrative is David Wallstein. And I want to make one thing clear. I'm asking you, please, just don't make a determination about what you think about this case is by reading 3 or 4 pages in the discovery. I respect journalists. Just as you expect a lot out of us in terms of being lawyers, I expect a lot out of journalists, not to just make a reaction, just to read the discovery. Because once you read the discovery of this case, and don't take a roadmap based upon David Wallstein, you'll come at a different destination. And that destination is not guilty. And I'm telling you this, if the government does not call many of the people who are Bridget Kelly's former colleagues, you can rest assured that we will be subpoenaing them. Because we do want one thing to occur in this case. We do not want to have a closed, crisp version of facts. We want a full airing of the facts involving everyone that was involved. And there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that once all of the facts, and the facts in this case, are laid bare in a public courtroom, given the opportunity for us to present our case under oath, and obviously giving the government the opportunity to cross-examine as long as they want. My only concern in terms of cross-examination is that it'll be too short. Because the longer you have Bridget Kelly on the stand explaining what took place, you'll obviously come to that one conclusion that we have said today, and we've been saying all along, that she is not guilty of these charges. I feel that as strongly in my bones as I felt in any case I've represented in the past 35 years. I want to say one other thing, it's unusual. Just so you know, Ms. Kelly was just in the courtroom with her co-conspirator, Mr. Baroni. They obviously embraced to say hello. But the length of time she spent in that courtroom with Bill Baroni is the longest period of time she's ever spent with him in his entire life. You're going to find out during the course of this that maybe, the length of time that she has spoken directly to her, quote, co-conspirator is maybe 12 seconds. Give it a stretch. Give it 15 seconds. But I'm asking you guys out there and you ladies that when you write these editorials and you write these opinions, please take some time to look at the discovery. I could give it to you now, but I'm telling you, I do not want to give a tutorial on how we get to not guilty, because I have clients that I have to represent and people I respect. Because I want to know this. She has been maligned for the past 16 months. My total belief and everything I hold dear is that she's been maligned unfairly. And I want to know, after we're found not guilty, who gives her the apology? I know you've been writing a lot of opinions about Ms. Kelly, but I want you to be fair now. I want you to do your job now. And while we're going to expect, hopefully, an apology when she's found not guilty, and make no doubt about it, she will be found not guilty. I know the allegations are sensational. I know that David Wallstein has put a spin on it. And I know, as I said, I respect my colleagues. I know they have drafted a document that if you read that in the context of all the discovery, you're going to say at the end of this case, why did they even bring it? Why did they even bring it? Why did they spend the time go out and investigate all the facts in this case and not cherry pick. The reason is, and as I said many, many times, I have the highest respect for the people from the U.S. Attorney's Office. But unfortunately, they're relying on one narrator, David Wallstein, and he's a flawed narrator. And I could spend a lot of time right now telling you why, but I don't want to spend that time attacking his credibility. The appropriate time will be in the courtroom. But for those of you who know David Wallstein, and many reporters do, many of these things don't make sense to you. Many of these allegations don't make sense to you. The whole theory of prosecution, retribution, when you examine it, doesn't make sense to you. You know why it doesn't make sense to you? You know why. Thank you very much.
Mr. Christian, you intend to subpoena Governor Christie, as you mentioned just now.
I am going to subpoena anybody who I feel necessary to establish my client's innocence.
And that could include the governor?
That could include anybody. If I find information about you, I'm subpoenaing you. That includes anyone.
Who ordered the lane closures?
Who ordered the lane closures? Just a scoop. We're going to find that at a trial in terms of what happened.
What else do you think Gibson Dunn has?
Well, that's Gibson Dunn. Interesting. I just have information. That's why I said I'm reasonably assured. Not positive 100% will make that application. But I would not make that representation if I had that basis. I find it interesting that all we got are clip summaries. And not, you would think, if you're going to take these statements, if you're going to spend $8 million and have 5 lawyers take interviews, don't rely on summaries of notes. You're going to spend $8 million, do what you guys are doing. Get a tape recorder. Get it right. Make sure there's no mistakes for interpretation. Don't give anyone any wiggle room. Say, well, I didn't say that. That's someone else's notes. That's a summary of someone else. Don't give anybody any opportunity to exercise wiggle room. What I want the words that they said so there's no misinterpretation. So that in the event I have to cross-examine somebody based upon what is put in the Gibson Dunn report, I don't want a witness to say, well, I didn't say that. They may have written that, but those are not my words. I want their words. And I would think a law firm such as Gibson Dunn that paid $8 million, that was paid $8 million to conduct interviews, to get it right, would at least spend $80 on a tape recorder. Or maybe a couple $100 on a court reporter, just like we have in there, in the courtroom. We have a stenographer. No one will have no doubts about what took place today. Why would we not have that same type of investigative report when there's something so important? Because they said, Gibson Dunn people, we want to get this right. We want to make sure that everything is right. Well, if you wanted to get it right, hopefully you did it right. You didn't charge the citizens of the state of New Jersey $8 million to get it wrong. Have us rely on your memory. If you have 5, 4, 3 lawyers conducting interviews, just press the button that says on, and let the person talk, and we'll have his or her words.
Counselor, Bill Baroni took David Wildstein said there's evidence that the governor knew about the lane closures while they happened. Ms. Kelly said that other people in the office knew. Did the governor know while the lane closures?
We'll find out.
Where did you regret sending that email? Traffic problems email.
Come to the courtroom, I'll tell you.
Does the governor know, Bridget? Did you know at the time?
A year, I have been silent. And today, I finally get to tell my story. I have spent my career trying to do the right thing. When people told me I would lose my career if I voted for paid family leave, I voted for it, cast the deciding vote. They said, your career would be over if you vote for medical marijuana or sick leave. I voted for it. And against enormous pressure from my party, who told me my career would certainly be over, I proudly and openly became the first legislator to vote for marriage equality in New Jersey. You see, those are the things you do risk your career over. I would never risk my career, my job, my reputation for something like this. I am an innocent man. And that is why I turned over thousands and thousands of pages of my own documents to both the prosecutors and the legislature. And that is why I will testify on my own behalf as soon as the trial begins. I will spend every day working to clear my name and get my reputation back. Thank you very much.
Who is in charge of the Port Authority?